Hey guys, welcome to Cooking with Sma, and my name is Sma. So today I'll be showing you how to make my easy peasy lemon squeezy, like my son would always say, recipe for magwenya. And I'll be showing you all the tools that you're going to need. And this is just a small medium mixing bowl for you to mix all your ingredients in. I have measuring cups, I have measuring spoons, and a sieve. So the ingredients that you're going to need are flour, and I also have yeast, sugar, and salt, and you're also going to need about a cup of warm water. So let's get started with measuring all our ingredients. Going to put this in there. So you need 4 cups of flour, sieve that through. To put that to one side, let's just sieve through the flour. And I'm also going to measure out 5 mils of salt. So 5 mils is 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm using brown sugar. I don't like sifting my brown sugar. I mean, it's sugar, it's granules. So I'm using about 50 mils of sugar. I'm going to pour it directly in there. And I'm also using 10 grams of yeast. This is 1 packet of dry yeast. Put it in there, and then you can mix it up. Mix it up. I like to make a well for my water, and for water I have warm water, guys. Don't forget to use warm water. You don't want to use hot water. Hot water is going to burn your yeast and your dough won't rise. So I have about a cup, 250 mils of warm water, and I pour it in there and mix it up. I like to use my hands. I find it easier to mix with my hands. It makes a bit of a mess, but it's easy for me. But okay, I need more water. Okay, so with my water, I like to add it a little at a time as I go along, because you don't want to put in too much water. You can't take out too much water, and you don't want to put in more flour because it's just going to mess up the recipe. So I put it in a little at a time as I go, as I need it. Keep mixing. That looks fine. So the dough tends to be a little sticky, which is okay because you don't want a very tough dough. that will result in your magwenya being very dense. So we don't want a dense magwenya. We want to make it nice and sticky. Okay, so the mixing is done, and I need more flour to put on my surface. Just sprinkle flour on the surface and dip your dough there. Just a bit for my hands. Okay, so guys, this is where you're going to need your dough. You need it to activate the yeast in the dough, and you're going to need a lot of elbow grease here. So I need for about 10 minutes or until the dough is soft and pliable. So it looks like I might need a bit more flour. If you have a scraper as well, you might use it. It comes in a bit handy to help with the stickiness of the dough. So this is exactly why you need to make sure that your working surface is clean, because you don't want to pick up any dirt particles on the surface. And just start kneading. Elbow grease, elbow grease, elbow grease. Knead about 10 minutes until all the yeast is kind of dissolved in the dough. The little elbow grease goes a long way. You need your dough to be well mixed so that the yeast can react and it will rise properly. So the kind of texture that you're looking for something a little smooth before you can let your dough rest. So just keep kneading this. This is a little sticky. Just going to flour my hands again a bit. I'm also using my bowl scraper just to help me out a bit here. So this is the texture that I was kind of referring to. Your dough starts to get elastic and a bit smooth. So now you know it's ready. So I have another bowl here that I'm going to use to let the dough rise in. And I just put in a little bit of oil. You need to oil it so that the dough won't stick to it. And it's a problem when you need to remove it. So I'm just going to place it there. And I usually just cover it with a dishcloth, or you can use a cling film if you have, and just put it in a warm place. You can put it in an oven drawer or just outside in the sun. So I'm covering my dough now with cling film, and I'm just going to let it rise. I'm going to let it rise for about 45 minutes or so, or until it has doubled in size, in volume. Just completely cover that. Don't overproof your dough, guys. If you overproof it, you also end up with the dense magwenya and the taste might be altered. So let it rise for about 45 minutes or until it's doubled in size, and then we'll be ready for frying. So my dough has risen and I've already floured my surface. A little stuck there. I've already floured my surface and I've prepared this is just a wire rag, and I put the paper towel on top of it. So I'm just going to put magwenya on top of it after frying. Just going to remove the dough. And I've already have my oil on the stove heating up. I'm just using ordinary vegetable oil. You can use whatever oil you have. You can use coconut oil. You can also use any oil that is tolerant of high heat. Roll my dough. It's a little sticky. I don't use too much pressure when rolling out the dough. You don't want to get rid of all the bubbles that have formed there. So just roll it out, roll it out. Perfect. Put that to one side. I use a knife to cut it out. You can use a cookie cutter or a glass, whatever you find comfortable or whatever is handy, and just use it to cut it. You can make whatever size you want. You can go big or small. It doesn't really matter. Just cutting into squares. Just put that to one side. Okay, so basically what I'm just doing is just trying to smooth out the edges. Smooth it out, and you can also extend them a bit. And I'm going to just test out the oil, see if it's hot enough. Okay, so the oil is hot enough, so you can just one more. So the color that you really need to look out for, you want a golden brown sort of color, and magwenya cooks pretty quickly, so you want to keep an eye on them. Don't want them to burn. Once your color starts turning brown on the other side, you can turn it to just fry the other side as well. Okay, so I'm done frying and this is the end result. I just used the paper towel here to dash off the excess oil. And guys, you can have this savory or sweet. You can just put a dash of powdered sugar or cinnamon, and you can have them with a cup of tea or coffee. You can have them savory, you can put in mince, you can put in your cheese, you can put in your French or polony, and it'll still taste good. My South African people know that these go well with archer. So try them out, try out the recipe, and let me know what you think and how it went. You can just feel free to leave your comments, and I'll check you guys on the next video.